Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Those who are new, welcome to my channel. I request you to kindly subscribe to my channel. And those who are my old friends, welcome back to my channel. This is your host for the day, Dr. Arkita. Today we are going to continue with our journey of review of literature. But before that, I would like to tell you that what PhD is going to give you in the initial years, or the things which are going to be there with you along with your baby, that is your PhD. Three things that it is going to give you: specs, gray hairs, and back pains. Yes, still I'm suffering from all these sort of things. Yeah, white hairs you might not be able to see on the my channel because we would like to look old. So we are going to talk about literature review structure. So when we talk about a literature review, it is the same way you put an essay together. When you remember, we used to ask to write an essay on Diwali, how we used to start that Diwali is a festival of India, Hinduism, and this is a festival of Lord Rama coming back after 14 years of exile and everything that we used to write. So this is the same way. Your review of literature is as same as writing an essay, but including the citations that you are going to cite the work of people. It starts with an introduction, which is going to say what the research question is and how it was or it will be answered. So what does this mean? In the initial first 3-4 lines, you are indirectly going to tell or directly going to tell that what is your research question and how previous authors have answered this question. Here are the paragraphs that go into more depth about your research. Once you are done with your paragraphs, then again I'm telling you, you need to write conclusion of what you have written on those 5 to 6 paragraphs, because conclusion is important. Sometimes it is not possible for everyone to read whatever you have written on those pages, 6-7 pages. So what they are gonna read is the conclusion that you have written at the end, which restates how you're going to write the conclusion. You're going to write the conclusion with the restate the research question and sum up of all the work that you have learned during writing that research. That this was ABCD was my research question, and this is how I have interpreted, or this is how I have come to the answer of that research question. How long a literature review should be? That's again a juggle. It depends on what kind of a research you are doing. It might be only few pages, or it can be bunch of under 200. So it again depends on either whether my English, sorry. Okay, so again it depends on whether you are writing a thesis, or usually you are writing a book chapter, or you are writing a research proposal. What you are writing, it also depends. Then let's understand the style of literature review. So when we talk about style of literature review, it should be written as you write other academic paper. That means you should use contradictory, you should never use contradictory or slang that we use. Remember that for WhatsApp, how are you? We just write how for H, R, A-R-E for A, and Y-O-U, we just write you. So not like this. We cannot write that on your review of literature. That is not allowed, because you are writing a formal chapter, or you are writing a formal essay. So in formal essays, you cannot write your slang. Second thing that you need to consider is that you always have to write a clear language. No abrupt language, or you at one time you are talking about Lord Rama and then you just go to some other deserted island and you're talking about something else. No. a formal tone. As I said, you know slang, if because you are writing a formal essay, so your tone has to be formal, and you need to write objective point of view. So you need to keep on writing, and you need to keep on considering these things as well. Use the past tense. This is very important. Use the past tense while you are talking about the research that has already been done by some other researcher. So you cannot write that this has happened just now, because somebody else has already done the work. And present tense can be used while you're talking about your own point of view, because you write at that moment are writing, but somebody has already done the work, and his work or her work is already there in the platform. So you need to write their work in the past tense and your work in the present tense. Along with this, to make it more clear, you can take the help of scientific writing cell, or if you have any friends from the language department, you can take their help to help you in understanding the tenses, because we all know that we are not that good when it comes to the tenses, right? Even when we talk this past, present, future, we just mix everything and we create our own tense a line, and then we keep on talking about that thing. Second thing you need to keep into consideration is that when you talk about those past tense or present tense, then you need to talk about how their work has influenced the research, the field in which you are talking. You need to talk about it. You cannot just write positive. You need to sum up your review of literature with a combination of different methods, different researchers, some positives, some negatives, because at that moment you have to be a neutral person. You cannot just go because your topic is more positive, so you only talk about the positive aspect. No, you have to take into consideration different research methods asking certain questions. So you need to consider this as well. Then you need to move a little more with your review of literature, because this is something which is going to make or break. Now, the main part for which we all were waiting: how to write step by step review of literature. The first step and the foremost in my thing is define the scope of your research. If you haven't narrowed down your idea into a size of a pea, my dear friends, it is going to be quite tough for you, because you cannot work on an imaginary world. You need to cut it down to a size of a pea, and once you have made your review to the size of a pea, it becomes more clearer, more in depth you can work on, and you are able to find more keywords related to the work that you are doing, because it's more like you are throwing arrow in the air if you have not clearly defined the scope of your research. But if you have clear scope of research, then it's a bullseye. Only then it's going to be a bullseye. Second thing, find relevant literature. As I've already told you, if I'm working for women empowerment, my work should be around it. I'm talking about women empowerment, but then I have moved to some other world where I'm talking about something related to engineering or something related to the science. Again, if that thing is inclined to women empowerment, then it's right. But if it has nothing to do, for example, women empowerment and engineering, and you're talking about a machine, does it make a sense? No, it does not make a sense. So you need to take into consideration that you must have a relevant review of literature. My specs are going to be like coming down and down, because they're like, you are not looking good. I feel I am. Then you need to find the themes, pattern, holes in the source you have, which means you read your sources that have been cut down. You need to ask you a certain questions. Do different authors agree on these themes? Then how does each author back up their position? That means what I have told you in the previous video, that how you are going to back up your work, that I have said something, somebody else should have said the same thing or similar sort of a thing. Check out how other people have worked their research, how they have done the whole research. And if your sources come from the studies or experiment, it is going to give more strength and more value to you. Then the most important thing, write down your most important idea and how each of these are going to add to what you already have added or what you have already about the topic. Find out the resources, then make an outline of your literature review. It is very, very important that you outline what you are going to write. It cannot be that you are taking this, you have 5 papers, eeny, meeny, miny, more, and just you're picking just because they are women empowerment topic. No, it cannot be like this. You need to make an outline that what you are gonna work, and these outlines comes from the objective that you have created initially, that what are the objectives of your study. So I'm thinking after review of literature, I'll take a moment of talking about in my next video about how to frame objectives for your thesis or your research proposal. Coming back, when we talk about this, you can set your outline in a very or in a few different ways. You can arrange it on the most relevant. You can talk from the years, that means from the past. You can start it from the past, or you can start it from the present, like 2023. You can start your studies from 2023, or you can start it from the 1960s, 1950s, 40s, or whatever your source says. Depending on your topic, the best way to organize your review of literature may vary, because you cannot compare the work of 2 different things. One is the Department of Sciences and one is the Department of Humanities. So I am from the management, and if you talk about us, if it's all about humanities, then we have changed over the period of time when we talk about arranging the sources. Now we write in a chronological order. Yeah, I sometimes again some words. It is hard for sciences to do in this way, but for humanities and social sciences, we do write in a chronological order. Do a review of book that you have read. While you're done with your outline, that this is how you want to carry out your review of literature, then the most important thing, the most of the time, review of literature get written, or you ask other person to do or help you in writing the review of literature. For example, you could ask about the scholarly article by saying, this paper argues. So you must have read it in many papers, even I do the same thing, that this paper argues. Or in her work, in this study, we have found that, and then you go with the details. But there are times when you have already done a work and you are the first person who's writing, then you can write, I argue or I propose, right? Because you have written their work, and then you might be contradicting, because some people in their work, they might have gone against the women empowerment, not women empowerment, the topic which is related to women empowerment, they might have gone against it. So you can say their paper has said like this, but I argue or I propose. So this is something very important while you are writing your review of literature. Then comes remembering the style. There are MLA, APA, Chicago manual styles formats. So it depends upon your university which it adopts. Basically, it's APA for humanities and social sciences, not for the liberal arts people. If you are doing PhD in literature or in any language, your style will be different. Usually it's MLA. When we talk about the language people, it is MLA. That is what I know, because some of my friends are doing PhD in that. Then there are certain examples of literature review. Reading other people's review of literature is very important, and specifically which are there in your field, which are focusing, or which are going to help you to understand how they have worked and how they have created and what you need to include in your review of literature. You need to review the books, you need to review the blogs, because there are certain times there are certain blogs which talks good, they have written some good things, then you need to read out the newspaper, then you need to read out the books. So you need to keep on finding review of literature examples. You cannot just shut down your mind and say that okay, whatever is there online will only go by that. No, go for journals, because there are certain journals which are in hard copy. Most of it is now available online, but I'll suggest you there are certain things which are there in the hard copies and which might not be available online. And then there will be times when you will be struggling with how to write and all these things. At that moment, this is going to help you a lot. So don't be a person who is like rigid that I want to go outside, I won't do this, I won't do that. Don't go for that. Last is how to write well. Writing for school is a very different style of writing. Even though you should correct the grammar and the clear language is everything that you do, that means there should be no grammatical errors. So, most of the papers get rejected because of grammatical errors. There are grammatical errors which is not acceptable. Again, for that you can have people from the language department, or you can have the scientific writing cell. Each university have. In our university we have the scientific writing cell, which are taking care of all these things about the grammar and all the things which are important. So their work is only one thing. You have written the paper and they are just helping you in the grammatical errors if there are any. So these are my pointers on review of literature, and let me be honest, I have created a script for you. So if my eyes are going down, up, down, I'm again reading my lines, because sometimes what happens when you are in front of screen, you just go to some other la land. So I don't want to go there. I just want to stick to whatever I'm talking to you. I hope it helped you, and with this I would take another topic, which is again a deadly thing, is objectives of the study. How you frame the objectives. I know objectives are going to be different, but I can actually talk about how I created, what was my take on creating or understanding the objectives of the study. With this, I'm going to say bye-bye, take care, have a great evening, and let me tell you, in Himachal, it's very beautiful scenery in the morning. You see the fog, you see the beautiful mountains covered with fog. So if anyone is interested to visit Himachal, please do visit Himachal. It's a very beautiful place. It's a good time right now, and even in Solin you will find beautiful places to visit. And if you want to know about those places, I can talk about that. I'm planning to divide my thing into two parts. One will be the crazy video, which I personally like, and one will be the academic video, which again I like. So with this, thank you, take care, bye bye.